Emma Chen had worked as a nurse at Riverside Community Hospital for 3 years. At 28, she still drove the same modest sedan she'd bought used in nursing school, and she still lived in a small studio apartment on the edge of town. Her shifts were long, her student loans were heavy, but she never complained. Nursing wasn't just a job to her, it was a calling. On this particular Tuesday evening, Emma was walking through the hospital parking lot after a double shift. The rain had just stopped, leaving the pavement glistening under the streetlights. Her scrubs were wrinkled, her ponytail had come loose, and all she wanted was to go home and soak her tired feet. That's when she saw the woman. She was elderly, perhaps in her 70s, with silver hair styled elegantly despite the damp weather. She wore a cream-colored blazer and dark slacks, the kind of outfit that spoke of quiet wealth and refinement. The woman was leaning heavily against a black SUV, one hand pressed to her chest, her face pale as moonlight. Emma didn't hesitate. She rushed forward, her nursing instincts taking over immediately. "Ma'am? Ma'am, are you all right?" Emma called out, quickening her pace. The woman's knees buckled just as Emma reached her. Emma caught her gently, easing her down to the wet pavement with careful hands. She could feel the woman's heartbeat fluttering rapidly beneath her palm. "I've got you," Emma said softly, her voice calm and reassuring. "Just breathe slowly for me. In and out. That's it." Behind them, a man in a gray suit came running from across the parking lot, his face etched with panic. He was perhaps in his early 40s, handsome in a stern sort of way, with dark hair and sharp features that suggested someone used to being in control. "Mother!" he shouted, fear cracking through his composed exterior. Emma barely glanced at him. Her focus remained on the elderly woman, checking her pulse, watching the color in her face, assessing her breathing. "Call 911, Emma instructed firmly, though her tone stayed gentle. "Tell them we need an ambulance." Possible cardiac episode, but the man seemed frozen, staring at his mother with an expression Emma had seen 1,000 times before, the helpless terror of watching a loved one in distress. "Sir," Emma said, meeting his eyes with steady confidence. "Your mother is going to be fine, but I need you to make that call right now. Can you do that?" Her calm certainty seemed to break through his panic. He fumbled for his phone, his hands shaking as he dialed. Emma turned her attention back to the woman who was now conscious but clearly disoriented. "I'm Emma. I'm a nurse here at Riverside. You're safe. I'm going to stay right here with you until help arrives." The woman's eyes, a striking blue even in her distress, focused on Emma's face. She tried to speak, but Emma gently shushed her. "Don't try to talk just yet. Save your energy. Just focus on breathing." Emma kept her hand on the woman's wrist, monitoring her pulse, while her other hand rested reassuringly on the woman's shoulder. The minutes stretched out in that parking lot, with the cool evening air settling around them. Emma stayed kneeling on the damp pavement, her scrubs soaking up the moisture, but she didn't move. She kept talking to the woman in that same calm, gentle voice, telling her about the weather, about the trees that lined the hospital grounds, about anything that might keep her grounded and calm. "You're doing beautifully," Emma murmured. "Your pulse is steadying. That's wonderful. Just keep breathing, nice and slow." The man paced nearby, still on the phone, now speaking rapidly to someone about getting to the hospital. Emma caught fragments. Something about meetings being canceled, about getting there as fast as possible. When the ambulance finally arrived, Emma briefed the paramedics quickly and efficiently, relaying everything she'd observed. Only then did she start to step back, ready to fade into the background as she always did. But the elderly woman caught her hand. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice still weak but filled with genuine warmth. "Thank you, dear," Emma smiled, squeezing the woman's hand gently. "You're very welcome. Please take care of yourself." As the paramedics loaded the stretcher into the ambulance, the man in the suit approached Emma. Up close, she could see the exhaustion around his eyes, the worry lines etched deep. "I don't know how to thank you," he said, his voice rough with emotion. You were so calm, so capable." Emma shrugged slightly, suddenly aware of how bedraggled she must look. Her wet scrubs, her messy hair, the fatigue evident in every line of her body. "I'm just glad I was here," she said simply. "Your mother seems like a lovely person. Make sure the doctors check her thoroughly. Sometimes these episodes can be stress-related, but it's important to rule out anything more serious." He nodded, seeming to want to say more, but the ambulance was waiting. He pressed a business card into Emma's hand. "Please," he said, "I'd like to properly thank you. My name is Daniel Richardson." Emma glanced at the card, embossed lettering, heavy stock, but the name meant nothing to her. She slipped it into her pocket with a tired smile. "Take care of your mother, Mr. Richardson. That's all the thanks I need." She watched the ambulance pull away, then walked slowly to her car, her body suddenly feeling the weight of the long day. That night, Emma didn't think much more about the encounter. It was what any nurse would have done, what any decent person would have done. She heated up some leftover soup, took a hot shower, and fell into bed. 3 days later, Emma was at the nurse's station, reviewing charts, when the floor supervisor approached her with an odd expression. "Emma, there's someone here to see you." "In the administrative conference room." Emma looked up, puzzled. "To see me? Are you sure?" The supervisor nodded, her eyes curious. "Very sure. They asked for you specifically." Confused and a bit concerned, Emma followed her supervisor down the hallway to the conference room. When the door opened, she froze. Inside sat the elderly woman from the parking lot, looking remarkably recovered. Her silver hair was perfectly styled, and she wore an elegant navy dress. Beside her sat Daniel Richardson, and next to him was a woman Emma recognized, Margaret Walsh, the hospital's CEO. "Emma," Mrs. Walsh said, standing with a smile. "Please come in." "Sit down." Emma entered slowly, her heart beating faster. Had she done something wrong? Had there been complications? The elderly woman smiled warmly and gestured to a chair. "Please, my dear." "Don't look so worried." "You're not in any trouble." Emma sat, her hands folded in her lap. "Emma," the woman continued, her blue eyes twinkling, "I don't believe we were properly introduced the other night. My name is Margaret Richardson, and this is my son, Daniel." Emma nodded politely, still not understanding. Margaret reached across the table and patted Emma's hand. "I wanted to thank you properly, dear. What you did for me, the way you helped me, the kindness in your voice, the competence in your hands. It reminded me why I've always believed healthcare should be about compassion as much as competence." Daniel cleared his throat. "Emma, my mother is the founder and majority shareholder of Richardson Healthcare Systems. This hospital is one of 15 facilities in our network." Emma's eyes widened. She looked at the elderly woman, this billionaire CEO, and saw only the frightened patient she'd comforted on the wet pavement. I had no idea," Emma stammered. Margaret waved a hand dismissively. "And that's exactly the point, dear. You didn't help me because of who I am or what I have. You helped me because I needed help, and you are, at your core, a truly good person." Mrs. Walsh, the hospital CEO, leaned forward. "Emma, Mrs. Richardson has created a new scholarship program for nursing education. She's also establishing a Compassionate Care Award in your honor. But more immediately, she'd like to offer you a position." Emma blinked, overwhelmed. Daniel spoke up, his voice warm. "We're opening a new patient advocacy program across all our facilities. We need someone to lead the training, someone who embodies the kind of care we want to see in every interaction. My mother insists that person is you." "It would mean a significant raise," Margaret added gently, "better hours, and the opportunity to shape how we train the next generation of nurses. But more than that, it would mean spreading the kind of kindness you showed me, the kind that doesn't look at status or wealth, that just sees a person in need and responds with grace." Emma felt tears prickling at the corners of her eyes. For 3 years, she'd worked tirelessly, often feeling invisible, wondering if her small acts of kindness really mattered. "I don't know what to say," Emma whispered. Margaret smiled, and in that smile, Emma saw the same gratitude she'd seen in the parking lot. "Say you'll consider it. Say you'll keep being exactly who you are, because who you are is extraordinary." Later, as Emma walked out of that conference room, her mind whirling with possibilities, she realized something profound. She hadn't helped Margaret Richardson to get anything in return. She'd helped her because it was the right thing to do, because compassion wasn't something you offered only when it might benefit you. It was something you gave freely, to everyone, always. And somehow, in that moment of simple human kindness, she'd found not just a new opportunity, but a reminder of why she'd become a nurse in the first place. Sometimes, the greatest rewards come not from seeking recognition, but from simply being present, being kind, and being willing to kneel down on wet pavement for a stranger who needs help. That, Emma understood, was the real story. Not about a billionaire and a poor nurse, but about two human beings connecting in a moment of need and all the beautiful possibilities that can bloom from a single act of grace.